You're in the mountains of Alaska alone, and all you have is a rope and the knowledge how to catch the wildlife. For generations, many people have been trapping for sport, food, money, clothing, and all sorts of stuff. So now I told you all that, let me show you how the history and the traps and the types of the traps and the benefits of trapping. The history. Trapping started out in the early 1500s, and most people knew how to do it because they always thought, oh, it was a good thing to learn. It was like a great way to live. You would make a usage out of whatever you catch, like a fox, you turn it into a scarf, or a raccoon, you turn its pelt into a hat. It was like the main source of like trade and everything else, and like that. But the history of, well, that's the history, so I'll tell you the types. First, we have, I think, is our leg holds. Okay, let's try this again. Hang on. There you go. Oh, never mind. It's a humane trap. Humane trap, what the animal does is you put like bait back around in here, and then there's a plate that you put it on. As the animal steps onto it, this door closes down, traps the animal in there, and the animal is still alive, and well, you can do whatever you want with it. You can like shoot it or whatever, or release it. Next is snares. Snares are kind of brutal, and I haven't learned how to set them up. But what it does is you tie it to like a young tree and bend it down, and what the animal will do is walk through, and then as it walks through, this pin gets released and it hangs the animal and just suffocates it.
Oh.
Then there's conibears. Conibears, I have used these a lot. You have, well, these are I'll tell you more about because I know more about them. You have your coils, then you have your jaws, then you have your dog and your trigger. The dog holds the trigger, and what happens is when the animal walks through, it sets off the trigger, and your dog gets removed, and then it closes down on the animal's neck, killing him instantly, or something like that. It depends on what you catch, because sometimes you have to call in the DNR and have them come in and tag it. Like this year I caught an otter, and we kind of didn't really get him fully killed, so we had to beat him to death. Which I know that sounds funny. I had to do it.
That's awesome.
And then there's lake holds. Lake holds, I think, are probably one of the brutalest ones that you could use, because what happens is you take your feet or your hands and you put down on those plates, and you have your pan and your dog. The animal will step in on the cake or the pan, holding it there while the jaws just grab onto whatever it is, leg, and then you have to come by, and the animal's still alive, and you have to come by and beat it to death or shoot it, whichever one you prefer. That sounds really terrible too. What you can catch, you can get like raccoon, possum, otter, muskrat, beaver, and coyote. Most I've caught this year was a possum and otter. And we got a raccoon, but it got stolen. So that wasn't really much of a good one when they get stolen, but most of the time it's more of like a hit and miss kind of thing. I mean, you look at trails, like most people go for is raccoon up there, and what happens is sometimes the animal doesn't even walk through, so you have to guess on where you want to set your traps or not. But now that I have told you the history and the types and the benefits of trapping, you now know that if you're out in the wilderness, like say you're in Alaska and you're up there and you don't know much, but you know trapping so you can make a living off of all that, then now you know that trapping is used for sport, food, money, and clothing. That pretty much sums it up.